The sky was clear over the Korean Space Center as Captain Ta walked across the landing pad. The wind ruffled his gray hair as he looked up at his ship, the research vessel Horizon *. After 20 years in space, the Horizon * was still the most advanced ship Earth had built. "Captain, all systems are ready," said Jun, the ship's lead scientist. His round glasses reflected the morning sun as he checked his tablet. "Good. Are we waiting for anyone else?" asked Ta. "Just my wife. Ian is bringing the new signal analysis equipment." As if on cue, a small transport vehicle pulled up. Dr. Ian stepped out, her short black hair neat despite the wind. 3 crew members followed, carrying boxes of equipment. "Sorry for the delay, Captain," she said with a quick bow. The new scanner needed extra calibration. Ta nodded. "No problem. Let's get everything on board. We launch in 30 minutes." The Horizon * left Earth's atmosphere smoothly. Its mission was simple: investigate a strange signal coming from deep space. The signal had first appeared 3 months ago, repeating every 9 hours. In the ship's lab, Jun and Ian worked side by side, analyzing the signal data. "This can't be natural," Ian said, pointing to her screen. "Look at these number sequences. They repeat with perfect precision." Jun leaned closer. "You're right. These are mathematical constants. Pi, the golden ratio, prime numbers." "Someone sent this message," Ian whispered. "Someone intelligent." They brought their findings to Captain Tai, who called an emergency meeting with Earth's Space Council. For the first time in human history, they had proof they were not alone. "We need to respond," said Ta during the video call. "The signal contains coordinates. They want us to meet them." The council debated for hours before agreeing. The Horizon * would travel to the coordinates and make humanity's first contact with aliens. It took 3 weeks to reach the meeting point near Jupiter's orbit. The crew was nervous but excited. "Something's coming," said the radar operator. "It's big, very big." Through the view screen, they watched as a massive ship appeared. It was unlike anything humans had built, smooth and oval, with no visible engines or windows. It glowed with a soft blue light. "They're sending a transmission," said the communications officer. It's in English." "Put it through," ordered Ta, straightening his uniform. A face appeared on the screen. The alien had pale blue skin, large black eyes, and no hair. When it spoke, its mouth moved strangely, as if the words didn't match its natural language. "Greetings, humans of Earth. I am High Counselor Vex of the Galactic Assembly. We have been observing your planet for many of your years." Captain Ta stepped forward. "I am Captain Ta of the research vessel Horizon *. We are honored to meet you." The alien blinked slowly. "We request permission to send a small delegation to your ship. We wish to meet in person." After getting approval from Earth, Ta agreed. 20 minutes later, a small craft left the alien ship and docked with the Horizon *. 3 aliens stepped on board. They moved slowly, as if each step was difficult. They wore thin suits that covered their entire bodies. "Forgive our discomfort," said Vex, his voice now coming directly from a translator device. "Your ship's gravity and atmosphere are challenging for our bodies." "Is something wrong with our air?" asked Ian, concerned. "Not wrong," replied Vex. "Simply extreme. The oxygen level, the pressure, the temperature. These conditions would kill most intelligent species in the galaxy." The humans looked at each other in surprise. "But this is normal for us," said Jun. "Exactly," said Vex, his large eyes blinking rapidly. "That is why we have come. Your planet is classified in our records as uninhabitable, a Class 12 death world. Yet here you are, not just surviving but thriving. The Galactic Assembly is very interested in understanding how this is possible." Captain Tai suddenly understood. They weren't just meeting aliens. They were the aliens, strange creatures who had evolved on a planet that would kill most life in the galaxy. 1 week after first contact, the alien delegation set up a temporary base on the moon. Earth was too dangerous for them to stay on for long periods. Captain Tai and his crew served as the main link between humans and the aliens. In a large meeting room at the lunar base, High Counselor Vex showed Earth's leaders a hologram of the galaxy. Hundreds of stars lit up, showing worlds with life. "These green dots are Class 1 worlds," explained Vex. "Perfect worlds with mild weather, low gravity, and few natural dangers. Most space-traveling species come from these worlds." The hologram changed, showing fewer dots in yellow and orange. Class 2 through Class 6 worlds have more challenges: stronger gravity, more extreme weather, or dangerous animals. Earth's leaders nodded, watching carefully. "Now, here are Class 7 through Class 11 worlds." The dots were red now, and much fewer. "These are what we call harsh worlds. Only 5 species in the assembly come from these planets." Then a single purple dot appeared. "This is Earth, the only Class 12 world to produce intelligent life. We did not think it was possible." The room was silent. Dr. Yun raised her hand. "What makes Earth so dangerous compared to other worlds?" Vex gestured to a tall, thin alien with 4 arms. "This is Pell, our chief scientist. He can explain." Pell stepped forward, moving carefully in the protective suit all the aliens wore. "Your world has many extreme features," Pell said. "Your gravity is crushing by our standards. Your atmosphere has high oxygen levels that would poison most species. Your temperature changes would kill most beings. Your world has earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, floods, and dangerous animals. And your bacteria and viruses are extremely aggressive." He paused, looking at the humans with his large eyes. "But most shocking is your biology. Your bones are incredibly dense. Your muscles are powerful. Your reaction speed is alarming. And your ability to recover from injury is unlike anything we have seen." Captain Tai noticed one of Earth's military representatives, Commander Sun, watching the aliens with narrowed eyes. Sun was from Korea's Aerospace Defense Force and didn't seem to trust the visitors. After the meeting, Commander Sun pulled Tai aside in the hallway. "I don't like how they look at us," Sun said quietly. "Like we're some kind of monsters." Tai shook his head. "They're just surprised. This is new for everyone." "Maybe," said Sun. "But I'm calling in some help. My old friend Minna works in intelligence. I want her to look into these aliens more deeply." Later that day, Pell asked for volunteers for medical scans. June and Eon were first in line, curious about how they compared to other species. In the medical lab, Pell ran a scanner over June's arm, then jumped back in surprise. "Is something wrong?" asked June. "Your heart rate," said Pell. "It's so fast. And your body temperature, almost hot enough to cook food on some worlds." Eon laughed. "That's normal for us." Pell continued the tests, growing more amazed. "You can digest plants and animals that would be toxic to most species. Your liver filters poisons that would kill instantly. Your immune system attacks foreign cells with incredible aggression." On Earth, Minna received Commander Sun's message and began her investigation. She was small and quiet, easy to overlook, perfect for her job in intelligence. She searched through all the data the aliens had shared, looking for hidden information. Late that night, she found something. The aliens had classified messages they didn't think humans could access. Using special code-breaking software, she opened one file. "The humans represent a potential crisis," the message read. "Their physical capabilities exceed all safety models. Some council members suggest they should be contained rather than welcomed. Their adaptations to their death world make them potentially the most dangerous species ever encountered." Mina immediately called Commander Sun. "We have a problem," she said. "Some of the aliens don't see us as friends. They see us as threats." Sun's voice was grim. "I knew it. Keep digging. Find out what they're really planning." As the sun rose over the lunar base, Captain Ta watched the Earth through a window. For the first time, he saw his home planet through alien eyes, not as the cradle of humanity, but as a deadly world that had shaped humans into something the galaxy had never seen before. 2 months after first contact, a large message arrived from the Galactic Assembly. Despite concerns from some members, they had voted to invite Earth to join their coalition of worlds. "This is a historic moment," said the world leaders during an emergency meeting. "We need to send our best people to represent Earth." The Korean Union nominated Han, their top diplomat, to join the Earth delegation. Han was tall and calm, known for solving difficult problems. He had worked on peace talks between nations for 20 years. "I am honored to serve," Han said when they told him. "When do we leave?" "Tomorrow," they said. "The Assembly has sent a special ship that can carry humans safely." The ship arrived the next day. It was huge, with special rooms made to match Earth's gravity and air. 50 humans from different countries boarded, including Han, Captain Ta, and the scientists Jun and Yun. "Where's Commander Sun?" asked Ta, looking around. "He stayed behind," said Yun. "He said someone needs to watch Earth while we're gone." What Ian didn't know was that Sun and Mina were still investigating the Assembly's secret communications. They didn't trust the invitation. The journey to the Assembly's main station took 2 weeks. When they arrived, Han gasped at the massive structure floating in space. It was like a giant wheel, with ships coming and going from all sides. "Welcome to Central Station," said their guide, an alien named Ril, home to representatives from over 300 worlds. As they walked through the station, Han noticed something strange. The aliens moved out of their way. Some watched with wide eyes. Others whispered to each other. "Why are they looking at us like that?" Han asked Ril. "Many have never seen humans before," Ril explained. "The news about Earth being a Class 12 world has spread. They are curious about you." "You mean they're afraid of us," said Han. Ril's skin changed color slightly, perhaps a little. "Most species here evolved on gentle worlds. They find your physical abilities intimidating." The Earth delegation was given special quarters in a section of the station set to Earth gravity. For aliens, this area was marked with warning signs. The next day, the Assembly held a welcome ceremony. Representatives from many worlds gathered in a large hall. Han stood with Tai and the others, feeling the stares of hundreds of aliens. High Counselor Vex stepped forward to give a speech. "Today marks a historic moment. For the first time, we welcome beings from a Class 12 world into our community. The humans have evolved under conditions most of us would find impossible. We have much to learn from each other." After the speech, aliens came to meet the humans. Most kept their distance, but a few brave ones approached Han. "Is it true you can break bones just by squeezing too hard?" asked a small green alien with 6 eyes. "No, that's not true," Han said with a smile. "We're not as dangerous as you think." Across the room, Jun was talking with an alien scientist about Earth's oceans when a waiter dropped a tray of drinks. Without thinking, Han moved quickly, catching a heavy crystal sculpture before it could hit a small alien diplomat. The room went silent. Han had moved faster than any alien could, his reflexes automatic. "I'm sorry," Han said, setting the sculpture down gently. "I didn't mean to startle anyone." The small alien looked up at him with 3 blinking eyes. "You saved me. That would have crushed my exoskeleton." Word of the incident spread quickly through the station. Recordings of Han's quick movement were shared on alien communication networks. Some saw it as proof humans were too dangerous. Others were fascinated. That night, Han sat with Tai in their quarters. "I think I made a mistake today," Han said. Tai shook his head. "You showed them something important. You used your strength to help, not harm. But they're still afraid of us." "Some are," Tai admitted. "But others are starting to see we might be valuable allies because of our differences, not despite them." On the other side of the station, The Assembly Council was meeting in secret. "The humans are stronger than we thought," said one member. "Their reflexes alone make them potential weapons." "But did you see how the human caught the sculpture?" asked another. "He did it to protect, not to harm. Perhaps we have misjudged them." High Counselor Vex listened carefully to both sides. The debate about humanity had just begun, and much would depend on what happened next. As weeks passed, humans began to work with friendly aliens. They shared stories, food, and ideas. Some aliens even visited Earth, though they had to wear special suits and could only stay for short times. Back on Earth, Minna sat in her small office surrounded by screens. For days, she had been digging through assembly data that Sun had secretly copied. Most of it was boring: trade agreements, travel routes, meeting notes. But today, she found something new. The Preservation Council, she read, a special group within the Assembly dedicated to protecting galactic stability. She dug deeper and found a secret message from someone named Director Core. "Humans represent an evolutionary path that should not exist," the message said. "Their strength, speed, and aggression come from their deadly world. If they spread into the galaxy with these traits, they could dominate within a century. We must control their expansion." Mina immediately called Commander Sun. "We have a problem," she said. "A group called the Preservation Council sees us as a threat. They're planning something." On the assembly station, Jun was working in the science lab with alien researchers. They had given him access to some assembly technology, but not all of it. Today, he noticed something strange. "Why does this datapad have restricted areas?" he asked his alien colleague. The alien, a tall being named Lur, looked uncomfortable. "Some technology is not available to all species." "You mean not available to humans," said Jun. Lur's skin changed color, showing his discomfort. "The Assembly has rules about sharing advanced technology with unstable species." Unstable. Jun felt his face grow hot. "You think we're unstable because we come from a Class 12 world?" "Not me personally," Lur said quickly. "But yes, some believe humans might misuse certain technologies because of your aggressive evolution." Jun left the lab angry. He found Captain Ta and told him what happened. "They're holding back on us," Jun said. "They don't trust us with their best technology." Ta nodded. "I've noticed the same thing. They show us enough to impress us, but keep the important advances hidden." "We should tell Commander Sun," Jun said. He was right to be suspicious. That night, Ta sent a coded message to Sun, explaining what they had learned. Sun replied with Mina's discoveries about the Preservation Council. The next day, a small alien ship arrived at the station carrying tourists from a planet called Selny. Within hours, many of them became sick with a virus they had brought from their homeworld. The station's medical team worked to treat them, but the virus spread quickly among the aliens. The humans, however, remained completely healthy. Dr. Yun volunteered to help in the medical bay. The alien doctors were surprised that she could work around the virus without getting sick. "How are you immune?" asked the head doctor. "I'm not sure," Yun said, "but human immune systems are very strong. We evolved to fight off many diseases." News of the humans' immunity spread through the station. For some aliens, it was another sign of how different and potentially dangerous humans were, but others saw it differently. The humans could help during outbreaks, one council member said during an emergency meeting. "Their immunity is a valuable trait." In another part of the station, Director Core met with members of the Preservation Council. Core was tall and thin with gray skin and 6 fingers on each hand. His eyes were cold as he spoke. "The humans continue to display abnormal traits," he said. "First their strength and speed, now their disease resistance. They are too unpredictable." "What do you suggest?" asked another member. "We need more information about their limitations," said Core. "We should test them, push them until we see their breaking points." And then, Core's face showed no emotion. "Then we decide if they can be controlled or if they must be contained. for the safety of the galaxy. On Earth, Commander Sun received another message from Mina. The Preservation Council is planning something, it said. I found mentions of testing procedures for humans. I think they want to push our people until they react badly. Be careful. Sun looked out his window at the night sky. Somewhere up there, the first humans in space were facing a hidden threat they didn't fully understand. He needed to prepare Earth, just in case things went wrong. Han paced in the meeting room, thinking hard. The Earth delegation had just received a message from Commander Sun warning them about the Preservation Council. They needed to act before things got worse. We need to show them we're not a threat, Han said to Captain Tai and the others. We need to change how they see us. How do we do that? Asked Yun. Han smiled. We challenge them. We suggest a series of friendly competitions to show that we can control our strength and use our abilities responsibly. The next day, Han presented his idea to the assembly. Many aliens liked the idea of seeing human abilities in controlled situations. High Counselor Vex approved the plan, though some noticed Director Kor watching with cold eyes. The first event will be a navigation challenge, announced Vex. Pilots will guide ships through an asteroid field near the station. The Earth delegation chose Yuri, a young Korean pilot known for her amazing reflexes. She was small and quiet, but her eyes missed nothing. The aliens chose 3 of their best pilots to compete against her. On the day of the challenge, thousands of aliens watched on screens throughout the station. Yuri's small ship waited at the starting line alongside the alien crafts. The course has been set, said the announcer. It passes through the densest part of the asteroid field. Many consider it impossible to navigate at high speed. The signal was given, and the ships launched. The alien pilots were skilled, moving carefully between the floating rocks. But Yuri flew differently. Where they moved with caution, she reacted instantly to every asteroid. Her ship spun and dived at full speed, finding paths no one else could see. Impossible, gasped the aliens watching. Her reaction time can't be real. Yuri finished the course in half the time of her closest competitor. When she returned to the station, even the alien pilots congratulated her. How did you do that? One asked. Yuri shrugged. I just see the path and follow it. Behind the scenes, Director Kor was not happy. He met with his Preservation Council members. This is not working, he said. The humans are showing their superiority, not their danger. What should we do? Asked one member. Make the challenges harder, said Kor. Push them until they make mistakes. Show everyone their true nature. The next challenge was a strength test. Humans would compete with aliens to move heavy objects safely without breaking them. The assembly chose Ta to represent Earth. But Mina, still investigating on Earth, found something alarming. She sent an urgent message to Sun. The Preservation Council has tampered with the strength challenge, her message said. They've weakened the safety equipment. Sun immediately sent a warning to Ta, who shared it with Han. We need to be extra careful, Ta said. They want us to fail. On the day of the strength challenge, Ta moved slowly and carefully, even though he could have gone much faster. He treated each object like it might break at any moment. The aliens watching were impressed by his control. Then something went wrong. A support beam cracked, sending a heavy container falling toward a small alien child who had wandered into the challenge area. Without thinking, Ta dropped his own container and lunged forward. He caught the falling weight with one hand while scooping up the child with the other. The room went silent. Ta had moved faster than most aliens could see, and the weight he held would have crushed most species. But instead of looking fierce, his face showed only concern. Are you hurt? He asked the child gently. The child's parent rushed forward, eyes wide with fear and gratitude. You saved my child, they said. Thank you. The story spread quickly through the station. Video of Ta's rescue was viewed by millions of aliens. For many, it changed how they saw humans. Yes, they were strong and fast from their death world. but they used those abilities to protect, not harm. In his private chamber, Director Kor watched the video with cold eyes. "This changes nothing," he said to his followers. "One good act doesn't erase the threat they pose. We need stronger measures." Back on Earth, Commander Sun received a new message from Mina. "The Preservation Council is getting desperate," it said. "Be ready. I think they're planning something bigger." Mina walked quietly through the shadowy halls of the Korean Intelligence Building. It was late at night, but she had important work to do. For weeks, she had been tracking the Preservation Council's communications. Now she had found something big. "I need your help," she said to Jin, a security officer who had just returned from the assembly station. "I need to get into a secret Preservation Council database." Jin nodded. He was tall and serious, with short black hair and quick eyes. "What do you know so far?" he asked. Mina showed him the files she had found. "They're planning something to isolate Earth, some kind of crisis that will make the assembly cut ties with us." Together, they worked through the night, using Jin's security codes from the station to break into hidden files. What they found made them both worried. "Look at this," Mina said, pointing to her screen. "Director Kor has convinced several high-ranking assembly members that humans will take over the galaxy if allowed to join freely." Jin read through the files. "They've been collecting data on our abnormal traits and creating worst-case scenarios about human expansion." Meanwhile, on Earth, the first alien tourists had arrived. They came in special protective suits and could only stay for short visits, but even these brief trips caused problems. A group of aliens screamed in terror when they saw humans swimming in the ocean. "You go into that dangerous liquid by choice?" one asked, shaking with fear. Another group panicked during a light rain shower, thinking the water falling from the sky was some kind of acid attack. Han, who had returned to Earth to help with the tourists, spent hours explaining normal human activities. "Our world shaped us to adapt to these conditions," he told the aliens. "What seems dangerous to you is normal for us." One curious alien asked, "Do you ever feel afraid?" Han thought for a moment. "Yes, but of different things. We fear loneliness, failure, or rejection more than physical dangers." The alien seemed surprised. "We fear the same things. Perhaps we are not so different after all." Back on the assembly station, Jun and Eun continued their scientific work. But tensions were growing. Some aliens refused to work with humans, while others were too curious, asking personal questions all day. In his office, Director Kor met with his most trusted advisors. "The humans are gaining supporters," he said angrily. "We need to act now, before they integrate further into the assembly." "What do you suggest?" asked one advisor. Kor's face showed no emotion. "An incident, something that will show everyone their true nature. Humans claim to be peaceful, but they come from a world of constant danger and competition. Under pressure, their violent instincts will surface." He showed them a plan to arrange an accident that would injure several human diplomats. The plan was designed to push the humans to respond with anger or violence, confirming the Preservation Council's warnings. On Earth, Mina and Jin finally broke through the last security barrier and found the full details of Kor's plans. "We have to warn them," Mina said, sending an urgent message to Captain Tai and Han. The message arrived just hours before the planned incident. Ta gathered the human delegation and explained the situation. "They want us to react badly," he said, "to show anger or violence. We can't give them what they want." When the accident happened, it was worse than expected. A shuttle carrying human diplomats suffered a system failure, crashing into the docking bay. Several humans were badly hurt. Assembly security rushed in, expecting chaos. But what they saw surprised them. The injured humans remained calm. Those who could still walk helped others. No one shouted or threatened. They showed pain but controlled it. Han, who had just returned to the station, led the emergency response. Despite a broken arm, he coordinated with alien medical teams to help the most seriously injured. Director Kor watched from a distance, his plan falling apart. The humans had not reacted with violence. Instead, they showed discipline and care for each other that impressed even their doubters. That night, a group of assembly members met secretly. They had seen the evidence Mina and Jin had uncovered about the Preservation Council's plans. "This has gone too far," said one senior member. "Kor has manipulated us with false fears about humans. We need to take action." For the first time since humans had joined the assembly, the balance of power was shifting. The conspiracy was being revealed, but Kor still had one final plan, one that would force the humans to show their full capabilities, for better or worse. A loud alarm woke everyone on the assembly station. Red lights flashed in every hallway. Over the speakers, an urgent message played in multiple languages. Emergency signal received from Research Outpost Kappa 9. All emergency response teams report to Bay 12. Captain Ta was already dressed and heading toward the command center when he met Han in the hallway. "What's happening?" Han asked. "A research station is in trouble," Ta said. "It's in the Helios system." Ta knew the Helios system. It had a very unstable star that gave off dangerous radiation and solar flares. Only specially protected ships could go there, and only for short times. In the command center, High Counselor Vex was speaking to the emergency teams. "The outpost has been damaged by a massive solar flare," Vex explained. "Their shields are failing. There are 28 researchers trapped there." "When can rescue ships reach them?" asked a tall alien. "That's the problem," said Vex. "The star is in an extreme flare cycle. The radiation and gravity conditions are too dangerous for our ships to approach for at least 10 days. "But they don't have 10 days, said another alien. "Their life support will fail in 36 hours. The room was quiet. Everyone knew what this meant. The researchers would die before help could reach them. Then Commander Sun, who had recently arrived at the station from Earth, stepped forward. "Human ships can handle those conditions," he said. Every alien in the room turned to look at him. "Impossible," said one. "The conditions around Helios now would crush your ships and kill your crew instantly." Sun shook his head. "Our ships are built to withstand extreme gravity, and humans can tolerate much higher radiation than most species. We've been doing so our whole lives on Earth." He looked at Ta. "Captain, could the Horizon make it to the outpost?" Tai thought for a moment. "Yes, with some quick modifications. We'd need to strengthen the shields, but it could work." "This is madness," said an alien scientist. "You would be risking your lives." "We risk our lives every day on Earth," said Sun. "This is no different." High Counselor Vex looked uncertain. "The Assembly cannot ask you to take such a risk." "You're not asking," said Ta. "We're offering." Within hours, the Horizon was ready. Ta would command the mission. Jun and Elon joined as science officers, and they brought several human engineers. Commander Sun insisted on coming too. As they prepared to leave, Han approached Sun. "I received a message from Mina," Han said quietly. "She says something about this emergency feels wrong. Be careful." Sun nodded. "I'll keep my eyes open." The Horizon left the station and headed for the Helios system. The journey took 12 hours. As they approached, they could see the massive star throwing off huge flares of burning gas. "Radiation levels are extremely high," said Eon, checking her instruments, "but still within what humans can handle for short periods." "Gravity increasing," reported Jun. "Hull stress is rising, but holding steady." Tug guided the ship toward the small research outpost orbiting far from the star. Even at this distance, the outpost was being hit by powerful radiation and gravity waves. "They're hailing us," said the communications officer. A desperate alien face appeared on the screen. "Human ship, we can't believe you came. Our shields are almost gone. We have 28 crew members and many are injured. We're coming to get you," said Ta. "Hold on." Docking with the damaged outpost was difficult, but Ta managed it. Commander Sun led the rescue team, with Eon joining to help with any medical needs. Inside the outpost, conditions were terrible. Parts of the station had no gravity, while others had too much. The temperature swung between freezing and boiling. Radiation levels were dangerous even for humans. "How are you even standing in these conditions?" asked one shocked alien researcher as Sun helped them toward the horizon. "This is nothing," said Sun. "I once hiked through a typhoon on Earth for fun." While Eon helped treat injured aliens, she noticed something strange in one of the labs. "June, look at this," she called. June joined her and stared at the strange equipment. "These are biological research containers. What were they studying here?" He accessed a computer terminal, and his face went pale. "These are weapons," he said quietly. "Biological weapons designed to target human DNA." Yum's eyes widened. Why would they be making weapons against humans? "The Preservation Council," said Sun, who had overheard them. "This must be their backup plan. If they can't prove we're dangerous, they'll create weapons to control us." "We need to tell Captain Ta," said June. "And we need proof." The Horizon returned to the assembly station with all 28 researchers from the outpost. Most aliens called it a miracle. No other species could have survived the rescue mission in those conditions. "This is worse than we thought," Han said, looking at the data. "These weapons were designed to kill humans only. And look at the authorization code. It came directly from Director Core." "We need to show this to the Assembly Council," said Sun. But before they could act, alarms sounded throughout the station. "What now?" asked Ta, who had just finished overseeing medical care for the rescued aliens. The answer came over the speakers. "Alert. Unauthorized access detected in Earth defense systems. All human representatives report to Command Center immediately." When they arrived at the Command Center, High Counselor Vex looked grave. "Someone has hacked into Earth's orbital defense platforms," he said. "They've locked out your people on Earth and changed the targeting systems." "Who did this?" demanded Sun. "We don't know," said Vex. "But there's more. Communications with Earth have been cut, and we've detected several assembly ships heading toward your planet without authorization." Sun's face hardened. It's Core. This is his final move. At that moment, the doors opened and Director Core entered with 6 security officers. "High Counselor, I must insist these humans be detained," said Core. "We have evidence they plan to attack assembly worlds." "That's a lie," said Han. "We have proof that you authorized bioweapons research against humans." Core's face showed no emotion, a necessary precaution against a species that could destroy us all. "The Council will understand once they see how dangerous you truly are. By attacking our home." Sun stepped forward, his voice low and controlled. "You're making a mistake." For the first time, a flicker of fear crossed Core's face as he looked at Sun. He stepped back and nodded to his security team. "Take them," he ordered. But the security officers hesitated. They had seen the news about the humans' rescue mission. They had watched these same humans save lives at great risk to themselves. "Now," shouted Core. On Earth, Minna was working frantically to regain control of the defense platforms when her screen showed multiple ships entering Earth orbit. "They're blocking all our signals," she told her team. "We can't contact the assembly or our people there." "What do we do?" asked one of her analysts. Minna thought quickly. "There's an old emergency system the assembly doesn't know about. We can use it to contact Captain Ta directly." Back at the station, the situation was growing tense. More security forces had arrived, but they were clearly uncomfortable with Core's orders. "The humans have done nothing wrong," said one of the rescued researchers. "They saved us when no one else could." Suddenly, Ta's personal communicator beeped. It was a message from Minna. "Assembly ships surrounding Earth. Defense systems compromised. Need help." Ta showed the message to Han and Sun. "We need to get back to Earth now," said Sun. High Counselor Vex, who had been silent, finally spoke. "Director Core, explain yourself. Why are assembly ships approaching Earth without authorization?" "A necessary security measure," said Kor. "The humans are too dangerous to be allowed full access to the galaxy. The Preservation Council has decided they must be contained to their own system." "You have no authority to make that decision," said Vex. While they argued, Han whispered to June, "Get the evidence to as many council members as possible. Now." June slipped away as Kor continued speaking. "The decision is made," said Kor. "The ships will establish a blockade around Earth. Any human ships that try to leave will be destroyed. And if Earth fights back?" asked Ta. Kor smiled coldly. "Then you will prove exactly what we've said all along, that humans are too violent to join the galactic community." "We need to go," Sun said quietly to Ta and Han. "Now." As security forces moved to stop them, alarms blared again. On the main screen, they could see a ship leaving the station at high speed. "The horizon," gasped an officer. "But how?" "No one authorized its launch." Un's voice came over the comm system. "Sorry for the surprise departure, but Earth needs us." Ta smiled. While everyone was focused on the confrontation, Yun had gathered their crew and prepared the ship. "You see," said Kor, "they disobey our laws already." But many in the room were looking at the humans with new understanding. They weren't seeing monsters from a death world now. They were seeing people willing to risk everything to protect their home. "Let's be clear," said Han to everyone in the room. "We don't want to fight. But if you threaten our world, you'll learn exactly why we survived on a Class 12 planet." For the first time, Kor looked truly afraid. The horizon raced toward Earth, pushing its engines to their limits. Captain Ta had managed to escape from the station with a small team, including Sun and Han. They knew they had little time before Kor's ships established their blockade. "We're receiving a message from Kor's flagship," said the communications officer. "They're ordering us to turn back, or they'll fire." "Ignore it," said Ta. "How long until we reach Earth?" 20 minutes, said June. "But Kor's ships will intercept us before then." On the main screen, they could see 5 assembly vessels moving to block their path. These weren't research ships or transports. They were warships, rarely used by the peace-loving assembly. "They're powering weapons," reported Ian. "What are our options?" asked Han. Sun studied the tactical display. "We can't outrun them, and the horizon isn't built for battle." "Then we need another solution," said Ta. He turned to the comm officer. "Send a message to Minna. Tell her we need a distraction." On Earth, Minna received the message. She smiled and turned to her team. "Time to show them what Earth can do," she said. Using the emergency backup systems, she sent commands to 3 small defense satellites that Kor's people had missed. The satellites activated, sending powerful energy pulses that disrupted the systems of the closest assembly ships. "It worked," said June, watching the enemy ships drift off course. "We have a path." The horizon shot past the confused assembly vessels. Behind them, Kor's flagship broke away from the others to give chase. "They're gaining on us," said Ian. "Let them come," said Sun. "We just need to reach Earth orbit." As they approached Earth, they saw the rest of Kor's fleet already in position, surrounding the planet. But something else was happening. Rising from Earth's surface were dozens of ships. Earth's combined defense fleet had launched. "Minna did it," said Han. "She warned our people." Earth's ships were smaller than the assembly vessels, but there were many more of them. They moved with precision, taking defensive positions around the planet. Kor's voice came over the communication system. "This is your final warning. Return to the assembly station, or we will open fire." Captain Ta looked at his crew, then at Sun and Han. "What should we do?" "Show them who we are," said Han. Ta nodded and opened a channel to all ships. "This is Captain Ta of Earth. We have discovered evidence that Director Kor authorized illegal bioweapons research against humans. We have proof of his conspiracy to isolate Earth against assembly regulations. We ask all assembly ships to stand down." There was silence. Then Kor's flagship fired a warning shot that passed close to the horizon. "Disable their weapons," ordered Sun to the Earth Fleet commander. But don't destroy any ships. Show restraint. What happened next amazed even the humans. Earth's fleet moved with incredible coordination. Small, fast ships darted around the assembly vessels, firing precise shots that disabled weapon systems without causing major damage. Within minutes, Kor's entire fleet was defenseless. How is this possible? Kor's voice was shaking. Your technology should be inferior to ours. We're good at adaptation, said Ta. It's how we survived on our death world. As they spoke, a new ship appeared. It was High Counselor Vex's personal vessel, accompanied by ships from other assembly worlds. Director Kor, Vex's voice came through clearly. You are relieved of command. The evidence of your conspiracy has been shared with the entire council. Your actions were unauthorized and illegal. Over the next few days, everything changed. Kor and the leaders of the Preservation Council were arrested. The blockade around Earth was removed. The Assembly sent official apologies to humanity. 1 month later, a massive natural disaster struck an Assembly core world. An earthquake destroyed cities and released toxic gas into the air. No Assembly species could survive in the conditions to help the victims. But humans could. Teams of human emergency workers flew to the planet. In conditions that would kill most species, they worked for days, saving thousands of lives. They breathed the toxic air with special filters. They worked in the extreme heat and crushing gravity. They showed the galaxy what Deathworld adaptations were truly for. 6 months after first contact, the Assembly created a new emergency response unit called the Deathworld Corps. Led by Captain Ta, now Admiral Ta, it consisted of human volunteers trained to help during disasters no other species could handle. Earth's classification changed from a fearsome warning to a mark of respect. Humans were no longer seen as dangerous monsters, but as valuable allies whose unique evolution offered something no other species could provide. As Admiral Ta stood on the bridge of Earth's first true interstellar ship, he watched a new generation of humans prepare to explore the stars. They never expected us, he said to Han, who stood beside him. They never expected that life on a death world would make us not just strong, but kind. Han smiled. That's the thing about evolution. It doesn't just teach you how to survive. It teaches you how to live.